How real is the reality as we know it? The world is an illusion, a philosopher's point of view. Plato's allegory of the cave. One of the most influential philosophers of all time, Plato invites us to imagine a cave. In it, there are people who have been chained and are observing a blank wall. They can see, because of the fire, the shadows of themselves and of whatever is happening behind them. The voices echo in the cave while the shadows dance on the wall, thus making the shadows appear real and talking. Plato compares us to those who are chained to the cave wall in his metaphor. He points out that we believe and think we see reality by watching the shadows on the wall. Whereas, beyond our perceived reality, there lies a world of perfect forms. Everything that we see is just a shade, an imitation of how things truly are. René Descartes' solipsism. Have you ever experienced that you have awoken from a dream, only to find out you are actually still sleeping? Dreams within dreams happen sometimes, in the REM phase of sleep. What if the reality as we know it exists only inside a dream? Then maybe our minds could be confused by various deceptions. René Descartes was a French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist. Dubbed the father of modern Western philosophy, Descartes argues that if we cannot even tell for sure whether we are dreaming, then how can we know for certain any truth about the world in which we seem to live? His famous statement, "I think, therefore I am," comes from the realization that to think or even to be deceived one has to exist, and that is the only truth beyond any doubt. The movie Inception explores the very topics that Descartes was philosophizing about over 300 years ago. The brain in a jar thought experiment. Imagine that you are just a brain in a jar that is run by a higher power. How would you know? And can you truly deny the possibility that this is your reality? This is a question discussed by thinkers and scientists who, like most people, believe that one's understanding of reality depends solely on their subjective feelings. A modern interpretation of Descartes' evil demon problem, this thought experiment leads to the same conclusion. We cannot confirm the actual existence of anything except our consciousness. If this seems to sound reminiscent of the movie The Matrix, it is only because this idea was part of the very basis of the story. Idealism. The earliest subjective idealists were members of the Yogacara school of Indian Buddhism. The mind-only school of Buddhism, where the world is regarded very largely as a mental projection, consists the core of the Mahayana and Tibetan Buddhism. Subjective idealism made its mark in Europe in the 18th century writings of George Berkeley, who argued that we cannot know objects outside of our perception of them. Berkeley claimed that objects maintain their existence when no person is perceiving them because God is constantly perceiving all objects. Thus the world or reality as we know it consists only in the minds of humans and of God. Transcendental idealism. A different approach to idealism is a doctrine founded by the famous German philosopher Immanuel Kant. Kant's doctrine maintains that human experience of things is similar to the way they appear to them rather than being as they really are. In the Critique of Pure Reason, Kant argues that space and time are merely formal features of how we perceive objects, not things in themselves. Objects in space and time are only appearances, and we know nothing about the real things of which they are appearances. Time is an illusion, eternalism. From philosophers to physicists, the nature of time has always inspired curiosity. The concept of time is simply an illusion made up of human memories. Everything that has ever been and ever will be is happening right now. To answer the differences among the present, the past and the future, there are three competing theories. Presentists argue that only the present objects and present experiences are real, and we recognize this in the special vividness of our present experience. However, according to the growing past theory, the past and present are both real, but the future is not real. The third theory is that there are no physical or objective differences among present, past, and future because the differences are merely subjective and come from us. This third theory is often called eternalism. We don't know if and when these theories will be proved or disapproved conclusively. You can subscribe to our channel for the continuation of our videos. Thanks for your time.